it's Abby Andrew and welcome back to the René of Paris channel today for another live stream. Happy Friday everyone, we made it to the end of the week. I hope you have some wonderful weekend plans. It's a long weekend, so that should be a lot of fun. So yeah, today's video is going to be talking about alopecia awareness because it is Alopecia Awareness Month. So this whole month we're going to be talking a lot about alopecia, hair loss, and just topics related to that. So I thought it would be a great way to kick off Alopecia Awareness Month with a quick live stream, just talking about my personal story with alopecia, maybe do a little bit of a Q&A if anyone has questions about alopecia or wants to share a bit about their own journey. I think we can just kind of hang out and talk about it. And I'm also going to talk about my personal journey with wigs and alopecia because over my life, I lost all my hair when I was about 2 years old. So I've been bald pretty much my whole life. So I've had quite a long journey with my confidence with alopecia and my relationship with wigs and so on. And I thought I would share that with you today. And everyone's relationship with wigs who has alopecia is different. Some people choose to not wear wigs at all. Some people choose to wear them daily or choose to wear one wig style and don't want people to know it's a wig, or some people like to switch it up all the time and have just like changing it up. And I just want to say right off the bat that all of those are valid and it's really up to your own personal preference how you want to handle your alopecia, and no one should be trying to tell you how you should be handling your alopecia. If you don't ever want to wear wigs and you like rocking the shaved head look, that's awesome. If you like wearing wigs and you don't want anyone to know, and you never feel like you want to open up about that, that's totally awesome too, and that's your personal choice. And I've kind of been through all of those phases, so I'll just kind of talk about my own journey. So just to start off, so I lost my hair when I was 2 years old, so I have been bald pretty much my whole life. And I started wearing wigs when I was probably about 6 or 7 years old, and then started wearing them consistently when I was going to school. And as I got older, in especially like end of elementary school, middle school, especially in high school, I became super insecure about my alopecia and I kept it like a really, really big secret. So a big thing for me then is I wore wigs, but I would only ever wear the exact same wig style every single day. And for some people that works, and for some people that do that, they don't have any desire to change that. But for me personally, it felt like a big weight on my shoulders because it was like a big secret that I felt like I was keeping every single day of my life. And every time someone asked me questions about it, it would send me into an internal panic, and I would almost have like a mini panic attack just because if anyone asked me if my wig was my hair. And I would keep really, really close tabs on who knew. So of course any of my close friends knew, my family knew, but if I made a new friend, it would be a huge question and a huge struggle with myself of, oh, when am I going to tell them? How am I going to tell them? Are they going to judge me? Even with people who were new friends, I would keep really, really close tabs on who knew and who didn't. So even questions like if someone saw my hair and they genuinely thought it was my hair and thought it looked good, even if they asked me a question like, oh my gosh, who does your hair? I would assume it was a question trying to pry about my wigs and that they secretly knew. So for me, it was just a really long journey of being really insecure about that. And then for me personally, I just really wanted to open up about it and I just didn't know how. So as I got towards going into my college years, I knew that that was kind of a time where it might be a good opportunity to start opening up about it because I was going to be moving from high school to college, which was going to be in a whole different town. Hello, how are you doing? So basically I wanted to take college as the opportunity to change it up and kind of push myself over that boundary because I knew that I wanted to for a really long time, but I was just too nervous, especially in high school where people can be really judgmental, and I figured that college would be a good opportunity to do it. And it still took me my entire freshman year. I didn't do it until after the summer after my freshman year. That's when I finally opened up about it. But I kind of want to talk about my wig wearing before and after that period because finally I made that big decision to open up about having alopecia when I was in the summer after my freshman year of college. And the way I did it is I just posted a Facebook status about it because I just wanted to tell as many people at once about it because I was really nervous talking about it in person. So I just wanted to make a Facebook status and just tell everyone through that so people would just know and I couldn't go back into my comfort zone. And then even from there, it was still a huge struggle to start changing up wigs because I knew that every time I changed a wig around a new person, they would ask me questions about it, and that still made me really nervous. So I've had quite a long journey with my wig wearing, going from someone who only wore the same wig every day and never wanted people to know, to trying to open up about it, but still being really nervous changing wigs. And now I'm kind of at this phase where I change up my wigs on a daily basis. Anyone who knows me knows that I wear wigs. I'm really comfortable online in pictures without a wig. my big hurdle that I'm currently working on, and I love having the alopecia community here on Instagram to kind of use as inspiration for this, because the thing I'm working on now is going out without a wig. And for me, it's really about being nervous about people's reactions, because I actually feel quite confident without a wig. I like the way I look with a shaved head, and I think it looks really cool with certain style aesthetics that I choose to wear. But for some reason, no matter what, if you go out as a woman with a shaved head, you're generally going to get some stares or comments, and I just, the extra attention just makes me a little nervous, but I think the look is really cool. So it's just kind of getting over the questions and the stares is what the hurdle I'm really up to now. But let me rewind and talk about my wig wearing journey through all that now, because I kept mentioning how back in the day I used to only wear one wig style, and the style that I wore from, I think, age 14 to probably age 18, maybe even 13 to 18, I would wear the same exact wig style and color and just replace it periodically, because with synthetic wigs you do eventually have to replace them once the hair starts to get older. You have to get a new version, but I would always get the exact same wig. And the wig for me all those years was Cody from the Amore line from René of Paris, which is still one of our wig options here. And I still love that wig, and I still have it in my collection. I do have it right here. I'm going to put it on right now just so you guys can see the high school version of Abby. I wish I brought up some pictures from that time, because I was just always wearing this exact wig style. And to a lot of the people that knew me during that time, this is just like the classic Abby hair. This one's a little bit older now, so it's not in the best shape, but it's certainly not bad. But this is the color Creamy Blonde. And that was the wig style and color combo that I wore all the way from 13 to 18. And I would maybe occasionally get a slightly different shade of blonde if I was feeling really adventurous, but even a slight color change would make me really nervous. And then even towards the end of my senior year, I started to sometimes wear a longer wig in the same color, and I would just, if I felt uncomfortable with questions, I would just tell people it was hair extensions, and that was my workaround for the questions if I didn't feel comfortable answering them. But yes, I love Cody. One of the reasons I love Cody for an everyday wig, and this still applies, and this is still why I love having Cody in my collection, is it's just so easy and manageable for a couple of reasons. For one thing, I think that short, straight styles for me are just so effortless. You never really have to even look in the mirror to check if they look good. They just, no matter what, you barely have to brush them out. Short, straight hairstyles, and they automatically just look natural. And then, of course, this is from our Amore line, where if you're not familiar with our Amore line, it is a synthetic wig line that we have with René of Paris. I think there's some human hair options in there as well that are specifically geared towards people with hair loss. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to have hair loss to wear these, but they have some features that are just extra beneficial to those who might be wearing it directly on their shaved head like I do. I never wear a wig cap or anything. So some of the wig cap features are designed to just be extra, extra comfortable. I can show you a glimpse of the inside of the features. This is pretty much what most of the wigs in the Amore line look like. It is the double monofilament, so it has the extra added layer of monofilament, so it's really smooth on your head. It has some silicone strips here along the sides. Now, these aren't like super, super grippy to a point where they might be uncomfortable or pull at your skin, but it's just enough to kind of give it that extra security, so it really kind of just creates more of a grip to your head. And then it also has the adjustable straps, which all of the wigs from all of our lines have. But those features, like the monofilament, is great because, for one, the double monofilament is very comfortable for an everyday wig like this one, but then it also looks very natural on top. So for those of you who aren't familiar with monofilament, it creates the appearance of the hair growing right out of your scalp. And you can also change the part within that monofilament wig cap, and it'll still look like your scalp peeking through. I don't know if you can see it in this light. But no matter how you move the hair, it still looks like your scalp peeking through. So that also gives you extra styling flexibility, as well as allowing the wig to look really natural. So I mention the wig Cody so often, even though this is a little bit of an older Cody now. I wanted to show it in this video because it just feels like such a key part of my personal experience and my journey with wigs, because this was the wig that was just my hair for so long. And the good thing about that is because back when I was insecure about wearing wigs, I wanted to have something that I knew was going to be secure in my head. It was never going to fall off. I could do cartwheels in this and I never feel like it's going to fall off. I wanted it to look natural so people would just automatically assume it was my hair and not ask questions, and this really covered all of those bases. So it's a really great option for those who want to wear a wig and don't want people to question if it's a wig. And that really applies to most of the wigs in our collections, of course, because they all just look so natural. The hair quality is really good. But the Amore line in particular, and those features like the double monofilament and such, are really good for that extra added layer of realism. It's also funny because when I went to college, before I opened up about it, I still made a switch from a drastic hairstyle because I took the opportunity of going from high school to college to change up the wig look because I was going to be around all new people. And then for that part of my wig wearing journey, I always wore Tatum from the Amore Collection, which is another one of my favorite daily go-to wear wigs. Hello, hello, hi everyone joining. How are you today? Thanks for joining my live streams. I always love seeing the same familiar names in these live streams because I know we're all just part of the Alopecia family on here, so we can all come together and talk about it. Talk about wig wearing and alopecia and all that. I wish I had a Tatum here with me to show. I think I have a Tatum that's relatively new in my collection, but it's a little bit older at this point, so I'm not sure if I wanted to pull it out for this video. But that style is also a fantastic everyday wig too, for those same reasons that I mentioned about Cody. It's just an effortless style. I love on Tatum is a style that is about a little bit longer than this, maybe about up to here, so it's a relatively short wig. It's straight and it has bangs, and I also love bangs and side bangs for if you want your hairline to always look natural and not even have to question if it looks natural because it'll be covered anyway. Let's see, what if you sweat? When I'm hot, my head sweats. Does the wig breathe or does it get warm? So personally, I never feel like the wig is too hot for me. That is something that you can just play around with different wig caps to see what is the most comfortable for you, or trying to wear a wig cap between the wig and your head versus not doing that. You could see if any of those different combinations help, if that makes sense. But for me personally, I never feel like it gets too hot on me. But it definitely is breathable because it has that open wefting on the back as well, which I don't know if I showed. So it's the monofilament on top, and the open wefts on the back really help make it breathable, in my opinion. So hopefully that helps. The wig cap is definitely a key part of that. And in the really hot months, I also do kind of opt towards shorter hair because I just feel like it's just a little bit easier in the really, really hot weather. I live in New York where it sometimes in the summer gets up to 80s or 90s, so yeah. So what was I just talking about? I think I was talking about a couple of my favorite everyday go-to wigs. I was mentioning Cody, which is the one I'm wearing now, and then Tatum is a big one as well that I don't have to show, unfortunately, but that's another one of my all-time favorite go-to daily wear wigs that I would recommend to anyone because it's just so effortless, so easy, and it's just such a cute style too. And then some of my other favorite longer wigs, I really love Stevie from the Amore Collection, which is it's kind of similar to Tatum, but just long, so it's just maybe like about this length with a kind of thin bang as well, which is really, really great. The Amore line in particular, if you're looking for wigs for alopecia, the Amore line is a great place to start because it has so many different fantastic style options and so many different great realistic natural looking colors as well, that if you want to find something that suits you, that is a great place to start because there's really just something for everyone in there. I actually do have a couple of other Amore line pieces here that I can show you as well. So right now I'm wearing Cody, which again was my go-to wig for so many years before I got comfortable switching up wigs. In a moment I'll also talk about how I got myself more comfortable changing up wigs because that took me a really long time. I think on my social media page, on my personal Instagram, abbyandrew.yt, I post so much about wearing different wigs. I post so many pictures with no wig that it seems like I've always been that comfortable with it, but it took me a very long time to get to a place of being more insecure with it to being more confident like I am now. So this is another one from the Amore Collection. This is one that actually came out more recently. Cody's been a part of the collection for so long, and it's just been such a staple piece in my personal wig collection forever. This one is called Braylon in the color Spring Honey Tea. A gorgeous, gorgeous, shorter kind of curly wavy look with a bang that you can also brush to the side. Another one of my current favorite daily go-to wigs. Typically, I have a relatively big collection of wigs, if you can't tell from my live streams on here and from my own videos, but I still always love to have one go-to wig that I pretty much wear every day. So if I'm going out with friends, I like to wear my more fun wigs, my longer wigs, my fun colors, but if I'm just waking up and putting on a wig to wear in Zoom meetings, I like to have a wig that I can just not think about which wig I'm wearing that day, and I just put it on. And typically that wig that I have is usually a short wig that's really easy to manage. It's usually probably in the Amore Collection like this one. This one is just one of my favorites for sure. One of the things that really opened up my eyes to the world of wigs. This is going to sound funny because it's such a common feature that I think everyone kind of is probably familiar with already, but I remember I went into a wig shop and the woman who worked there was just showing me a bunch of different wig styles that she had, and that's when she taught me about the monofilament wig cap feature that I was mentioning earlier, and how it also allows you to like change the part. It allows you to like brush the hair back and have it look natural and have it look like your scalp is peeking through. I remember that just opened my eyes to how natural wigs could be because I think I learned that when I was probably in the 8th grade or something, and then every day in school for the rest of that year I wore a hairstyle that was like brushed back in a clip because I purposely wanted to show the cap underneath because it just makes it look so natural. And it was like, oh, if a little bit of my skin is showing, of course it's growing right out of my head. But learning about that feature was such a game changer for me in terms of realistic looking wig caps. I have that wig. I'm thinking about Braylon. Braylon is such a fantastic wig. It's just so cute. I love it. I love kind of putting it in a ponytail like that. It kind of gives it more of a casual look. Wearing it down is great. I have Ivana in pastel blue and Cayenne Melted Ocean. I think I have Cayenne Melted Ocean in front of me. I'm actually going to put that on in a minute. Why not? Let's do it now. Okay, I'll put Cayenne Melted Ocean on in a moment. I just wanted to finish talking about the Amore wigs because I have one more Amore wig in front of me that I'm going to show. This is what I'm talking about when I say there's really something in the Amore line for everyone. And the styles that I'm showing right now are on the shorter side, but there's also some really fantastic longer styles, mid-length styles, curly, straight, and so on. I just remembered I forgot the name of this wig. This one is a newer one. This is Sybil in Ginger Brown. This one is really fantastic. This one kind of reminds me a bit of Cody. There are some differences, of course, but kind of falls right into the criteria of all my favorite features that I like to have in a wig for a daily wear wig. This one is also nice because it has a really nice lace front as well. So it really just kind of transitions really nicely from the natural looking lace front here, which gives you that really natural looking, the light is getting funky, but if you push the hair back on top, it looks like it's growing right out of your scalp here. And then that blends really nicely into the monofilament on top. So it just looks natural all the way from the hairline all the way to the top. I love shorter wigs that just last longer and don't wear out as fast. It's nice because they don't rub against your clothes as much, so there's going to be less like friction frizz over time, which is just, it's going to happen with any synthetic wig over time. That's just part of having a synthetic wig. But the shorter ones, I think, in my personal experience, do last a bit longer as well. But this one is just so cute. Again, the nice thing about this is it has a lace front that goes a bit wider than most of our lace fronts, so it kind of goes more temple to temple. So from about almost to the ear, but kind of from here to here. Just a really natural looking one. So with this kind of style, you can really even just pull it back like this and clip it like that, and it still looks like it's just growing right out of your head. Love this one too. You truly can wear anything. You look great in everything. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I mean, it's all just, I think anyone can wear anything in my opinion, and it's all about sometimes like changing up your makeup if you wear makeup, or changing up your clothing. I feel like sometimes I just have to change my aesthetic for a different wig. Which one is this again? It's lovely. Thank you so much. This one is Sybil in the color Ginger Brown. It's one of the newer releases from the Amore Collection, and it's just such a fantastic one. So cute. Every time I pull out a wig for one of these videos, I'm like, I need to start wearing this one like every day. But I feel that way about all my wigs, so. So this one, I want to show you the lace front on this one because it's really nice. It's like kind of an extended lace front. So it goes all the way from here to here with that double monofilament wig cap. And then it has the adjustable straps, of course. So yes, that was just talking about all the Amore line wigs that are especially good for alopecia because it is Alopecia Awareness Month. So I'm just kind of talking about my own personal story with alopecia and my wig journey. So now kind of going back to my story about how I transitioned from being someone who only wore one wig style every single day and never wanted people to even know I had alopecia or even know I was wearing a wig. I just wanted them to think my wig was my hair. And again, that can be a really good option for some people who are comfortable with having it like that and they don't want to talk about it and they want to keep it personal. That's totally valid. For me personally, it just felt like a big weight on my shoulders because I treated it like a huge secret. So someone is asking now, any tips for coming out about wearing wigs? That kind of goes right into what I'm talking about now. So for me, when I was insecure about it, I could not even say the word alopecia out loud without getting emotional and tearing up. It was such a big deal for me to tell somebody one-on-one that I was wearing a wig because I was just so nervous talking about it, which was why I personally took the route of posting on social media, which is such an easy way to do it these days. Sorry, my dog is popping her head up. She's just readjusting. She's good. So I didn't even post a picture because that was so scary. I just posted a text-only Facebook status. It was a little easier back then because I feel like everyone was on Facebook then, and now fewer people are, in my opinion. But I just posted a quick text post just saying, I could probably remember the exact wording. It was something along the lines of, hey everyone, I just wanted to let you know that I wear alopecia. Not that. I have alopecia and I wear wigs, and I decided I'm going to start being more open about it, and I'm going to start changing up wigs on a daily basis. Not on a daily basis. I'm losing my words here. I definitely did not start changing up wigs on a daily basis. I really had to kind of take it slow and use it as training wheels, which I'll explain in a minute. But the post basically just said, don't be surprised if you see me with blonde hair one day and brunette hair the next. And that's all. And I was so nervous even just to post a Facebook status about it. And I was actually very, very surprised with how much support I got. People were really kind, commenting really sweet things, and it really opened my eyes to see that something you think people will judge you for, they're actually going to be very, very supportive and not be as negative as you might expect them to be. We really get in our own heads about it, and it's really not like that in reality. And even if someone does say something rude, that's a reflection of them, not a reflection of you. And also, people will be rude about anything. You could be the most perfect person on the planet and they will still find something to complain about because people just like to complain about things. Now, to talk about how I got myself used to changing up wigs, that was still a struggle for me. It's so funny because I do it so regularly now, but especially when I was back in school and I would go to classes, if I went to a class in a different wig, I knew right off the bat people were going to ask me questions, and I was still so uncomfortable answering questions. So I remember I went to class one day with a Tatum wig in brunette, and then the next day I went to class in a Tatum wig in a blonde color. And I, of course, got a ton of questions, but it was kind of just like throwing myself into it. It's like the questions made me nervous, but I knew that it was something I wanted to work towards, so I just kind of just pushed myself to do it. Went to the class in a different wig and just faced the questions head on. And I kind of had to be in the right mindset for it. Like, if I was having a bad day, I probably wouldn't push myself on that particular day. But if it was a day where I was already feeling good and confident, that was the day where I was going to kind of push myself. And I knew that once I actually got there and people were asking questions, it wouldn't actually be as scary in reality as it was in my head. But it was just kind of like throwing myself into the deep end and just kind of putting myself in a situation where I knew I might be uncomfortable, but pushing through it. And it was such an amazing feeling because A, it's never as scary as you expect it to be. People are going to be really, really supportive. And B, it's really great to accomplish something that you were scared to do. So it's really nice. So my version of training wheels was either wearing the same wig style in a different color or the same color in a different style. So only changing up one of the factors, so I at least had the comfort zone with one or the other. So for example, when I first started changing up from short to long, I would keep the same color, but I would go from Cody in creamy blonde to Shiloh from the Noriko Collection in creamy blonde because they kind of have a similar density, and that was when I was really more insecure about it. And if people asked me questions and I didn't want to answer, I would just say it was extension. So I kind of had that to fall back on. I always said from the start, the plus from alopecia is that I can change my look every day and the color I want to wear that day. I completely agree with that, and I definitely treat it like an accessory now. So I'll just pull out a fun colored one because this really leads right into that, is now I just have fun changing up the colors. So this is Kai in Melted Ocean, which is this gorgeous blue color, and this has been one of my kind of daily wear wigs recently because I just love it. I love the style and I am in love with this color. And I feel like when I was growing up wearing wigs, there weren't a lot of fun colors like this that looked natural. A lot of the fun colors were still in the kind of world of costumey wigs, and this is just such a beautiful color on such a high quality wig as well. The style looks so natural. It has that lace front, lace part, so you have the effect of your scalp peeking through. It looks very realistic. So no one, like, people will still probably think this is your own hair just dyed blue. Whereas back in the day, when I was younger, I dreamt about having fun hair colors, but there just weren't really options like that yet that existed in the wig world that were like higher quality. And now, especially with René of Paris, they've just been releasing so many fun, bright, awesome colors that they're my favorites across the board. But if you can tell from what I've shown here already, I switch it up from light blonde to dark brunette to blue and just love it. But this one is so fantastic. That's the other piece of advice that I would give to someone who is working on becoming more confident talking about it or changing up wigs is just get excited about the wig options that you can wear, and just kind of focus on that. So find a wig that you love, wear it around the house, get comfortable wearing it, and just help yourself work on feeling confident wearing the wig in your comfort zone. And then once you feel super confident in that wig, then it's going to be much easier to go out in the world with that wig, because you already know you look good. You don't have to convince anyone that you look good. You know you look good. I do always wear a clip when I wear this wig because it keeps falling on my face. I always get so much compliments when I wear Kai and Melted Ocean. I mean, it doesn't fall on my face too much, but I also just love kind of the look of pushing it back because of that lace front. So sorry, she just shook and her harness made a whole lot of noise. Sorry about that, headphone wearers. But yeah, it doesn't fall on my face too much, but I do like being able to put it behind my ear as well, like that. Someone also says it's so nice for the beach, which is funny because I totally did wear this on the beach recently. I love this style. I will mention, if you have trouble with a certain wig falling on your face, I don't know if you guys saw that we just released a specific wig styling tool recently that I'm probably going to do a video about soon on one of our channels. But it's a heating tool with a very, very low heat temperature specifically made for styling synthetic wigs. So check that out in some of our recent posts. I think we've had some of maybe Alexander or Danny do some tutorials with it. But that's something you could totally use if you have a hairstyle that you feel is going in your face too much. You could probably use that tool to just kind of style it slightly differently. I don't know why she's moving around so much. I'm so sorry. You could style it ever so slightly to kind of change the way the bangs are falling or something like that, and you can help it not be in your face. It is like it's a new tool that we just came out with, and it is like a miracle tool. It is just so good for all the styling things that I've never really seen any other alternatives for with synthetic wigs, so I definitely would recommend checking that out. But yes, someone said, yes, I'm going to get one. Sorry, every time I read a comment, I just say, someone said, even though I know who this is. Yeah, I'm going to get it next month. I have an app at Aderans in the Netherlands. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I actually just came back from the Netherlands, so. What does everyone use to wash their synthetic pieces? To piece and style. So for washing wigs, with synthetic wigs, we do have she never makes this much noise. I'm just going to hold her so she calms down a little bit. She's just a little hyper right now. But there is a René of Paris synthetic wig shampoo and conditioner that is perfect for washing your synthetic wigs. It's nice and gentle. Using products designed for human hair can slowly over time kind of cause your synthetic wigs to dull or just not last as long. So I definitely recommend using synthetic products. And we do also have a synthetic hairspray and something called Revive Liquid Enhancement, which is also really fantastic for keeping your wigs looking fresher for longer. So that's definitely a really great tool. And that's also really great for keeping curly wigs looking nice. I just picked her up she was staying with my parents while I was out of town, and I just picked her up, and she's just excited to be back with me. So that's why she's acting a little crazy. I'm sorry. I hope it's not distracting. I could put her on the floor, but she's good. Hopefully we're all dog lovers here. Let's see. I did. I did love the Netherlands. It was a really, really fun trip. I had a lot of fun. I was kind of running around a lot, but I would love to go back and visit for longer. Now, I do have a couple other wigs in front of me that I will show as well, because now the one color range I haven't really showed in this video, I've gone over the blondes, I've gone over the brunettes. I do have a really gorgeous red color here as well. This is a wig from the Orchid Collection called Ella in Cherry Merlot. And something else that helped kind of get me comfortable switching up wigs, which is something I kind of forget to mention because it's a little bit of a niche category, but I use kind of costumes as a way to get comfortable changing up wigs. So right around the time where I was trying to get myself more comfortable switching up on a regular basis, it was around Halloween time. Sorry. She usually just sits nice and calm. But it was right around Halloween time. Sorry, I was just reading a comment. How good does this wig look? Sorry, I'm just interrupting myself. But this is Cherry Merlot, Ella and Cherry Merlot from the Orchid Collection. And I just love this wig. And it's a really great wig for everyday wear, but I also just have some costume ideas in mind as well, because it just reminds me of some characters. But it was right around the time of Halloween when I was trying to get myself comfortable switching up wigs. So what I decided to do was wear a different wig for a Halloween costume. And no one's really going to ask you questions if you're wearing a wig on Halloween, because if they realize it's a wig and they're like, oh, she's wearing a wig, they're just going to be like, oh, it's for her costume. So that was kind of like training wheels for me as well, because people aren't going to ask you the same questions as if you like show up to work or to class in a different wig. That probably draws a lot of questions. But if you're wearing a wig on Halloween or to a Comic-Con or something like that, it's a little bit more normal and no one's gonna question it. Someone asked, is this one a lace front? I love it. Sometimes I forget whether a wig I'm wearing is a lace front, and I have to check. Yes, it is indeed. Okay. Yes, this is lace front. Super gorgeous. Really love this one. So yeah, there's the lace front there. Love the wig and the color. Thank you. I really love this one. I'm glad it's showing up right on camera, because sometimes when I show this wig on camera, the camera doesn't pick it up properly, but I think it's kind of picking it up nicely right now. But I definitely have some costume ideas for this one, even though it is also a really fantastic daily wear wig. And I just love this kind of length. These beachy waves. I love putting wigs back in ponytails like this. I just think it looks really cute. I do have another longer wig as well. I just realized most of the wigs I showed so far were shorter wigs, so I will show a longer one. This is actually a really funny comparison of a wig that is shorter, and like how I said earlier, how I had one wig that I wore that was shorter, and then I had a wig that was kind of similar but in a longer style, and I said that I kind of treated it like it was extensions, and I would switch back and forth between them before I was comfortable switching up wigs. I feel like these two wigs can kind of have that same effect. This is Braylon from the Amore Collection, and this one here is Avalon from the Alexander Couture Collection. But I'll show this one as well, just because it kind of goes along with what I was saying earlier about being able to just pretend it's like extensions. The other thing too, though, is I'm telling stories about when I was in high school. So there's two things I want to mention with that. Is, for one, high school is a place where people are a lot more judgmental and a little bit more scary. And when you become an adult, people aren't going to be as judgmental like that. So if you're older, like you're just going to your workplace or something, I would imagine people aren't going to be as judgmental than they are in high school. High school was just like the most judgmental age range, because high school, of course, and like all the kids are thrown together in one place, and it's a little bit more scary. How gorgeous is this? This is Avalon from the Alexander Couture Collection. Super gorgeous color and style. But yeah, so a lot of the things I'm mentioning about being scared about opening up about wearing wigs, that was from when I was in high school, which is of course going to be extra scary. So if you're someone who is out of high school age, it might be a little bit less intimidating if you want to start. If you're someone that is developing alopecia right now, or you wear wigs and you want to start being open about it, hopefully it'll be less scary in a workplace or something. Especially if you work remotely, it's a little bit easier to switch it up via Zoom. Social media helps me so much as training wheels too, because you can kind of post about wearing wigs and alopecia on social media, and you don't have to see people's reaction in person to their face. That's something that I got really nervous with back in the day. So if I posted something on social media, that was kind of a way for me to test the waters. And also, inevitably, I realized from social media that people are going to have more positive reactions than you expect. So it also helped me realize that it wasn't as scary as I thought it was, so that when I started to switch up wigs in real life to people, it was a little bit less scary. I love the way the waves fall with this wig. Thank you. I do too. It's so gorgeous. I might dress up for Comic-Con this year and use it as an opportunity to be more open about it. I love that idea. That's really fantastic. And that's also something that I'm now applying that same logic to getting myself comfortable not wearing a wig at all. So to my first Comic-Con ever, I went in cosplay, and I was dressed as a character called Tank Girl from comics. And she has like pretty much shaved head with like a half mohawk thing, so I kind of like did this fancy costume thing, and I pretty much just had a shaved head at Comic-Con And because I was wearing a costume, nobody was questioning it. It just looked like natural. And I was still so scared to go in there, but when I got in, everyone there, if you go to a con in cosplay, people are so supportive. As soon as I walked in, everyone's like, oh my gosh, I love your costume. Can I take a picture with you? And so it kind of like killed two birds with one stone. Like, not only was I kind of testing the waters and getting comfortable going out with a shaved head, I was also in a cool cosplay. So, and I guess people look at that and they're like, wow, she's committed to the cosplay. She shaved her head just for that. I did the same thing last year. I went to a con and I went as a character from an anime called One Punch Man, where the character's a guy, and I just did kind of like a female version, but the character has a totally shaved head, so I just went as with a totally bald head. And that was a lot of fun. I might do that again for Anime NYC or something like that this year, but it's kind of using the same logic as using a costume event to get comfortable wearing different wigs, and now I'm kind of using that for getting comfortable going out with the shaved head as well. So, yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of show all the wigs that I showed in this video one more time. I had Braylon in Spring Honey Tea from the Amore Collection. I had this gorgeous, gorgeous wig, which is Ella in Cherry Merlot from the Orchid Collection, which is a really fun collection with a lot of different fun, cool styles and colors, so definitely check that out. Earlier in the video, I showed Cody from Amore, which was my go-to wig for a lot of years. And this wig here that I tried on earlier, Sybil from the Amore Collection, this would be a fantastic kind of daily wear, easy go-to wig as well. In ginger brown, and I really like this color as well. This is a good one. And then I also showed fun colored wigs. So if you're someone that's just starting to lose your hair, or you really want to work on becoming more comfortable with your alopecia, or talking about it, or switching up wigs, just take your time, go easy on yourself. Don't push yourself too hard, but if you do push yourself past your comfort zone, it'll probably feel really great after, to be honest, because that's kind of what I did to get myself used to switching up wigs, is even though I knew I would be uncomfortable, I would just push myself to go out to class or to work wearing a different wig. And even if I was nervous, even if I knew people would probably ask me questions, I just tried not to think about the scary part. I would just put on an outfit, do my makeup or something in a way that made me feel really confident in the wig that I was wearing, so that when I got to work and people asked me questions, I was more prepared to answer the questions because I knew I already felt good wearing that wig. So if you're just trying a new wig style, try wearing it around your house, try playing with different ponytails, pigtails, different jewelry, accessories, and things to just, once you feel confident in the wig, that'll just kind of make everything else feel a little bit easier, if that makes sense, once you feel comfortable in it. So definitely just take your time, go easy on yourself. A couple of the tips that I mentioned that were kind of what I described as training wheels is start by only changing the color, have the same wig style in a different color, or stick with the same color and change the wig style. Because if you're just changing one factor, then maybe that's a little less scary than changing it up altogether. And maybe trying out costume events as a way to kind of use that as training wheels. Because if you're wearing a different wig to a costume event, Halloween's coming up, some of the cons are coming up, maybe that's a good time to do it. I like how I say Halloween is coming up even though it's September, because in my brain September is already Halloween Eve. So I just picked up a pumpkin candle today from the store and it smells great. But yeah, so again, this was an Alopecia Awareness Month live stream. If you guys have any other questions as well, if I didn't answer them here, feel free to ask them now. If I see them before the live stream ends, I can answer them here. But also, all of our live streams get saved on our IGTV. So if you have any questions later after this is posted, maybe you're watching it after the fact, feel free to comment them there. I check back at the questions later to see if I missed anything. And if we get any frequently asked questions, we sometimes will turn that into a whole live stream topic. So keep an eye out for that as well. And also make sure, if you're not already, that you're following us, René of Paris, on Instagram and on YouTube, because we post lots of wig tips and tutorials. And for any questions about any of these wigs that I showed in this video, you can go back and rewatch to see any of the names if you missed them. You can learn more information about all of these wigs on reneofparis.com. You can find the other color options they're available in as well. So if I showed a style that you liked and maybe you would prefer it in a different color, you can see all the different color options available on there. So yeah, again, beginning of Alopecia Awareness Month, I'm sure we'll be posting plenty more about it on here. I will be for sure on my own Instagram, abbyandrew.yt, so feel free to follow me on there as well. And yeah, happy Friday, everyone. Enjoy your long weekend if you do live in the US. I'm not sure if that applies to other countries as well, but It's really great hanging out with you all. So thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye!